Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Redmond. In Syria, dozens of Syrian soldiers are reportedly dead after an accidental U.S. airstrike. An Obama administration official is expressing regret for the, quote, unintentional loss of life after an airstrike on Syrian forces. The U.S. military says the coalition thought it was hitting ISIS militants, but hours later said the airstrike may have struck Syrian soldiers. The United Nations Security Council scheduled an emergency meeting tonight at Russia's request to discuss the airstrike. This story is developing, and we will provide updates as they become available. And a little closer to home, an explosion in New York City rocks the southwest neighborhood of Chelsea. At least 25 people are injured following possible explosion. The fire department reports it happened around 8:30 on West 23rd Street. Several people were taken to the hospital with injuries, and the fire department says none of the injuries appear to be life-threatening. Donald Trump spoke about the incident at a rally in Colorado.
Boy, we are living in a time. We better get very tough, folks. We better get very, very tough. Just happened. So we'll find out, but it's a terrible thing that's going on in our world and in our country. And we are going to get tough and smart and vigilant.
Witnesses say FBI and Homeland Security officials are also on the scene. Now check out this video from one of our viewers, Erica Glass. She was just a few blocks away from the explosion when it happened. Glass says all traffic is blocked off from the area at the moment. No cars can travel between 14th to 26th Street. The New York City explosion comes just hours after a pipe bomb exploded in a trash can in a New Jersey beach town today, leaving little damage and a big mystery. No one was injured, but a charity run had been scheduled to pass through the area. The bomb went off around 9:30 a.m. in the town of Seaside Park at the Jersey Shore. It blew a big hole in this garbage can, but not much damage otherwise. Authorities cleared the boardwalk and the beach area and sent in bomb-sniffing dogs. Federal, state, and local law enforcement rushed to the scene. The bomb exploded along the scheduled route of the charity run called the Semper Fi to benefit U.S. Marines and sailors. Thousands lined up, but a delay in registration put the start of the race behind schedule and may have averted the bloodshed.
That was very significant in terms of the injuries we could have been looking at.
Had the race gone on time, many people would have been around the area of the garbage cans where the explosion did take place, and there would have been massive injuries.
The race was canceled, and the FBI is now taking the lead in this investigation to find out whether this was an attempted act of terrorism that could have turned out far differently. Tonight, the FBI says it knows of no threat to public safety in the area. Some residents who had been asked to leave their homes have been allowed to go back. Now let's go over to Wendy Ross for a first check on our weather. Wendy?
And Alex, we have had a beautiful evening tonight. We've had nothing but starry skies out there. All the rains have come to an end, and we only saw some spotty showers that took place much earlier this evening. Right now, it's still very warm, though. It's 84 degrees outside with our dew points at 74 degrees and our humidity at 72%. So it feels very sticky when you walk out the door. And those winds are calm. They're coming in out of the north right now at around 3 miles per hour. Throughout the overnight time period, we're going to be seeing our temperatures dropping down into the upper 70s, and then tomorrow morning we start the warm-up once again with our readings back up into the 80s and plenty of sunshine throughout the morning. And it's also very, very crowded out in the tropics. We're looking at another system coming off the coast of Africa with a 70% chance of development over the next 5 days. We have Carl that we're also watching, and the remnants of Julia sitting right off the coastline of the Carolinas, and she doesn't seem to be going anywhere. We've got all of the story about what's happening out in the tropics, and for the rest of this weekend's report, that's coming up in just a few minutes. Alan?
Thanks, Wendy. Manatee County is teaming up with FEMA to assess the damage left behind by Tropical Storm Hermine. Officials have been touring dozens of neighborhoods to determine if the county should receive federal relief for those affected by the storm. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo has the latest.
Jane Springhouse of Park Acres Estates in Bradenton is still feeling the effects after her home was flooded by Hermine.
I have been a wreck.
Her kitchen and most of her home gutted out. And just across the street at Burgundy Condominiums, Nancy Sitter watched in horror as her home was being destroyed.
But after the water came through, it took everything with it, and it took the guard, it took the pillows, and everything just floated away.
Many of her neighbors in the complex have similar stories as personal items were laid out after homes were flooded. The Federal Emergency Management Agency took the week to assess damage caused by Hermine. And while in the county, FEMA's main focus, talking with residents affected by the storm.
This is all about how much damage did you sustain, what was affected from their perception, how deep was the water, and also some basic questions like, did they have flood insurance?
Manatee County's Emergency Management Chief, Don Hermie, says FEMA determined the storm caused a little over $1.1 million worth of damage after completing a tour of the county's public infrastructure. But the county must prove there was more damage to receive what's called a presidential declaration, where federal relief will trickle down to communities such as Pine Acres and Burgundy.
Our goal is to get to 1.3. We are still collecting information, and we do have the opportunity with FEMA to submit information on further damages that they did not see when they were here.
Overall, the state of Florida must show they sustained a minimum of $25 million worth of damage. Next week, FEMA, along with the U.S. Corps of Engineers, will look at coastal areas in the county to assess damage.
They look at the beaches, they look at the erosion, and because we are a major tourism destination, we want to focus in on, is there a renourishment opportunity with any kind of FEMA declaration that may occur.
Hermie says FEMA may make a decision on the presidential declaration in as soon as a couple weeks. Alex, back to you.
Thank you, Dwayne. A controversial sign at a restaurant on US 41 has been changed. The sign outside Barnacle Bill's originally read, "Concealed carry okay. I am a deplorable. Vote Trump." The sign now reads, "Not a deplorable." Owner William Davis first put the message up Tuesday in response to Hillary Clinton's recent use of the word to describe half of Trump's supporters. He says he didn't plan on taking it down until the November election, and although it's not completely taken down, the wording is now changed. There are only 24 days left to register to vote, and the number of registered voters is a bit higher today in Sarasota County. The Sarasota County Supervisor of Elections came out to the White Buffalo Saloon on McIntosh Road today with a voter registration booth. It's part of the saloon's We the People party. The saloon's owner, Mike Evanoff, says it's a great way to do something different and get the community involved. The last day to register to vote in Florida for November's presidential election is Tuesday, October the 11th. Still to come here on ABC7, teenage attorneys, how young scholars are putting their judicial skills and knowledge of the legal system to good use.
At ABC7, it's all about being here for you. ABC7 News at 7 with award-winning investigative journalist Alan Cohn. In-depth reporting and debate on important issues and stories in our community with a featured topic of the day and a live roundtable discussion with community leaders and newsmakers. Plus a quick recap of the day's top stories and weather. ABC7 News at 7 weeknights. Now more than ever, we're here for you, Suncoast. Monday at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Vargas. A new report from the CDC shows people who may need exercise the most may not be getting it at all. Monday on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll show you how lack of exercise is affecting the health of older adults. John?
We'll watch showers and thunderstorms again in the forecast, but anything tropical, we'll tell you about that bright and early.
Monday at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Hurricane season is here, so when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
And track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
People ask me all the time, George, what do I do with my idea for a new product? I tell them, call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been providing patent referrals, preparing ideas, and submitting to companies for more than 30 years.
I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
For your free inventor's information, call 1-800-881-6805.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half-mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U for an independent you.
1-800-350-9872.
Kids into the various academy, West Point, Naval Academy, Air Force Academy. So that's what we're here today, is just give them some additional information.
Well, it's very important because the process can be a little confusing, a little frustrating to the family. So it provides some supports.
SMA Colonel Christina Bowman says Congressman Buchanan informs families, cadets, and students at the information fair about opportunities.
We have all of the service academies here today to individually speak with families so that they have a much better understanding of the process of entrance.
Each service academy detailed its program during breakout sessions, and admissions representatives answered questions and provided information to students and parents.
Many of them are juniors looking at it, or even some of the seniors. And then we've got kids here that'll be freshmen, sophomore. They're also considering it, looking down the road a little bit.
Successful candidates attend the academies at no cost and receive a top education and training experience.
But we try to encourage as many families and as many kids out of our high school, because it really does set them and their families up for life if they can get in and graduate.
The Manatee County Clerk of the Circuit Court is training teens to act as attorneys in real-life cases. The Teen Court and Teen Court 2 attorney training program is available to teens ages 12 to 17. The event was held today at the Palmetto Historical Park. The teens are learning life skills like public speaking, gain knowledge of the legal and judicial system, and even earning volunteer hours towards graduation and other scholarships.
Twice a year in the spring and the fall, we do teen attorney training. So these are youth that are interested possibly in becoming attorneys, having a career in the legal field. It gives the kids some experience in this field and also helps our program out greatly.
The program is part of providing a better future for youth and teens in Manatee County. Some shoppers at Westfield Sarasota Square Mall are going home with more than just clothing and accessories. The Humane Society of Sarasota County held their Adopt While You Shop event at the mall's center promenade today. Shoppers had the opportunity to meet pets up for adoption and talk to staff about giving animals a forever home. It's a great way to help animals have a better future and make families a bit larger.
We bring our dogs and our cats to the mall. This is the Sarasota Square Mall. It's important because there are so many homeless animals. I don't think people realize the problem with overpopulation, and all of the animals that come to our shelter do not have a home.
The Humane Society is always looking for new owners for animals in the shelter. And the Sarasota location is open Tuesday through Saturday. Last night on ABC7, we told you about a new gas pump law aiming to protect consumers from the skimming devices. Gas stations are now required to update their systems to protect your information. The changes go into effect on October 1st. Here's what you had to say about them on Facebook. John White writes, there should be a law or ordinance requiring service station personnel to inspect the pumps for tampering at the beginning of each shift. This would eliminate most of the successful scanners. Racina Lawach writes, make gas station operators be responsible for maintaining skimmer-free pays at machines and have them report to police once they find out. And Sheila Connolly writes, I no longer use credit cards at the gas pump. I purchase gas cards at the supermarket and use the full value when I fill up. Karina Brandis writes, I refuse to pay at the pump. I'd rather spend a few minutes in line and pay inside the store for my gas. Well, I'm telling you, this is like a little bit of good information from our viewers here. Thanks for writing in, guys. That's great.
I like that idea about getting the coupons and using the full value at the pump. That makes a lot of sense to me.
And not only that, you also get a little bit of a discount when you buy those gas cards. If you spend $50 at some of our markets, they give you a gas card.
That's true.
Yeah,
I'm going to start taking advantage of that. That's a
good
great
deal.
idea, because that's a scary thing to think that somebody's getting your personal information when you are totally unsuspecting. So that's very
Absolutely.
unjust and wrong in so many ways. Well, we're going to be talking about the weather now, and we did see a couple of showers that came on through. 92, yes, it was another hot one today. Not as hot as it was back on this date in 2005, though. It was 95 degrees then. So we've had hotter days, but it sure was hot with that high of 92 and an overnight low of 78 degrees. And we'll see probably pretty much the same thing tonight, with our overnight lows dropping down into the 70s. Right now it's nice and warm at 84 degrees. Our humidity is high. The winds are coming in out of the north, and we do have a starry sky right now. As you head out the door, we've got most of the rain is locked away over the central part of the state, and we're not seeing those showers making much of a move here yet. So we've got Jacksonville at 75 degrees, temperatures all along the east coast in the low 80s right now, and along the west coast we're seeing pretty much the same thing. Fort Myers had a couple of showers earlier that helped to cool them down, and for us we're looking at mostly 80s around, but you get a little bit farther to the east, Wauchula, Arcadia, each reporting 77 degrees, 79 in Punta Gorda, and down to the south in Boca Grande, it's 82 degrees right now.